Hey there, welcome back to another review, this time of 28 Weeks Later, which came out in 2007, and you have early roles by Jeremy Renner, Idris Elba, stars a guy named Robert Carlyle. You also have Imogen Poots, who would she later be in the Fright Night remake. As the title suggests, it's 28 weeks later after the first movie, and the infected have starved to death, so now they think it's kind of safe in London, so they're bringing people back in. But then one thing leads to another, it all goes up shit creek, and the infection begins again. Our lead characters, Robert Carlyle, who's a father, and during those first 28 days later, he was with his wife and other survivors. Their kids had gone off on this school trip, and this boy comes. They let him in, and then all hell breaks loose where infected followed him. People start getting killed, and Robert Carlyle's character has the chance to save his wife, but doesn't. He leaves her ass like a jackrabbit, says, "Fuck this, I'm gone." Runs, that's where you get the music in a heartbeat, gets in this boat, goes upriver, and leaves his wife to die. And then 28 weeks later, again, folks are being brought back in. Robert Carlyle's boy and his daughter. I forget who played the little boy, but the daughter's played by Imogen Poots. She's a little bit older than the boy. Jeremy Renner, he plays one of the soldiers. He's a sniper. He has a little bit of fun with this other guy, Harold Perrineau, which this guy's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, of course, Jeremy Renner, I like as an actor. He's one of the things I enjoy about the film. It was cool to see an early role by Jeremy Renner. And even when I first saw it back then, I enjoyed him. I actually wish he was the star of the movie. Kind of like Cillian Murphy was the star of the first movie, only it would be from the soldier's perspective. Maybe that would have made me like the film more, because at best I like it okay, because it has some nice gore, there's some fun moments. For example, a scene with a helicopter fucking up these infected, to be pretty bloody at times. There's some sequences I enjoy, for example, when later on Robert Carlyle gets infected, and there's a bunch of people trapped in this room, and then an infection, one gets bit, then that leads to another, then that leads to another, and all this chaos that happens. But before I get into that, Jeremy Renner, of course, he would go on to be Hawkeye in the Avengers films. He was in a film called SWAT, which I remember not minding. Became one of the villains. The Hurt Locker, which I enjoy. That's a film I haven't really talked much about, but The Hurt Locker, I thought was a really well done flick. And I thought Jeremy Renner really. That was probably the film I saw that really made me go, wow, this guy's impressive as an actor. I have not seen the film where he played Jeffrey Dahmer. I haven't seen that flick. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh my god. I didn't realize he's one. I've seen this trailer, but I haven't seen this film. Now I will, considering the National Lampoon's Senior Trip. I remember seeing the trailer to this film long ago. A New Line Cinema film called National Lampoon's Senior Trip, where you had like, I think it was like Tommy Chong as the bus driver, Matt Frewer, fucking Jeremy Renner is one of the stars, as one of the kids. Oh my god, that was fucking insane. And that was his film debut. That'd be fun just to see Jeremy Renner in that kind of role. Okay, I will see that sometime. I didn't even know he was in that. He was one of the stars of it. But yeah, he also played Jeffrey Dahmer, which I haven't seen that flick from 2002. I think that'd be pretty interesting. See, after this, he did the same year he was in a film called Take. The Hurt Locker, which I enjoyed. The Town, I enjoyed that film. And then he played Hawkeye and Thor. He was in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. The Bourne Legacy, which I haven't seen. Hansel and Gretel, which I remember not being impressed by. Mission Impossible Road to Nation, which I enjoyed. I know he's in a film called Wind River, which I'm not even sure if it's come out yet. Maybe. He was in this film called Arrival, which I did ultimately see, and I don't know. I know it got a lot of great reviews, and it was okay. Now, then Harold Perrineau, he's a helicopter pilot who has a little bit of French or German Renner. This is the guy who his name was linked in the Matrix sequels. He would pilot the ship that Morpheus and all those guys were on in Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions. He was also the guy in The Edge. He was the third guy with Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins and got his ass eaten by a bear. And then he was actually in Sabotage, which I didn't even realize he was in Sabotage with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was in that film Snitch with The Rock. He was in Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio. He played Mercutio. And he's been in 30 Days of Night, Dark Days, Seeking Justice. I think that's a Nicolas Cage film. But it's like, holy shit, that's the guy from The Edge. I forgot about that. I like that film. But anyway, getting back to this. Idris Elba has a small supporting role as the general of the military. And Jeremy Renner has a little bit of nice back and forth with the pilot, not too much, where he goes, oh, you did kiss my ass, and at one point steers him. People being brought back in. The son and daughter see their dad, Robert Carlyle. Robert Carlyle lies about what happened to their mother. Oh, there's nothing I could do. The two kids stupidly, I mean fucking stupidly. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I'm not as much of a fan of this one as I am of the first movie. I think, in my opinion, the first movie had better characters. And I liked the characters more. I liked Cillian Murphy more than our leads here, which is the boy and the daughter. I liked the woman who would go on to be Moneypenny in some of the last couple of James Bond films. Brendan Gleeson as the father, and then his daughter. I liked that set of characters more. I liked that it was a smaller group of people having to deal with this thing. It wasn't like all this huge group of people. And I felt the bit of isolation in 28 Days Later where Cillian Murphy comes out and it's all empty. While here you have a lot more people. So granted you did more of a body count. There's that. I know there's a couple ideas that they were thinking of before this film was made. One was a prequel where soldiers came in to rescue the Prime Minister within the 28 Days Later, or let's see. I know there was... Okay, I thought there was some info about here. Might be on IMDb. But yeah, I know there were a couple ideas for the film. They knew they couldn't get the previous cast back because they were busy with other stuff. It just, I didn't like the girl and the boy. They were there, but it's not like, oh yeah, I really like these characters. They're kind of just there, and then they stupidly go into the zone that they're told not to. And granted, I know they're doing that to get a picture of their mom because the boy says, I can't remember her. And I'm like, I get that, but why don't you... Your father has connections. How is like, hey, have military in there, military with you, or just fucking wait because the house is not going anywhere. It's not like the house is going to go and fucking walk away, or the house is not going to fucking sneak away. I mean, they stupidly go out there, and then they find their mom. It's like, wait a minute, mom's not dead. And also, the security in this place is fucking dog shit because when they bring the mom back, and the mom, she's infected, but she's not the pissed off virus, the rage virus. Robert Carlyle was able to sneak in like you're sneaking into a fucking McDonald's. I mean, it's that easy to sneak into it. I'm like, wow, the security here is shit. And this is a woman who's a carrier who has the virus. She has the fucking virus. And you can tell something's up with her. There's no security at the door. There's no security in the fucking room, outside the fucking room, outside the fucking door. Robert Carlyle is not even trying to sneak. He's just walking in. And it just goes right up to the woman. I'm like, man, security here is shit. There's more security in my fucking home than it is in this fucking place. Jesus. And then Robert Carlyle goes up to this woman, again, very easily. And then Robert Carlyle, I know, again, he's upset about what he did, but she's tied down. She looks fucked up. Her eye looks fucked up. Why would you go and kiss her? I mean, even then, it's like, yeah, I missed you, but at the same time, I left you there to die. My first thought would not be, oh, let me go and kiss you. It'd be like, maybe let me earn some respect points before I try that. Let me just do like a little salute to earn some trust before I try to kiss her. It just, I'm like, these two kids fucking pissed me off going in the zone. There could have been anything out there. The fucking shitty security. And these are nitpicks. I understand they're nitpicks, but they're my nitpicks, so fuck it. It's my video, so it's, yeah, not my. Maybe. So, I don't know if the mom knows she's infected or not. I don't really get the sense where she know. If she did know, then you would think when she kissed him, well, you're gonna turn him. Wouldn't that put your kids at risk? So I'm guessing she didn't know. But he turns and then kills her and then gets out of there, kills the soldiers, and then the infection spreads. Containment is not reached. And you do get some good gore. There's one infected trying to get at the kids, and the female soldier shoots him, like blows the guy's brains out. Chaos one after the other. Jeremy Renner sniping some of the infected. And then Idris Elba, the general, gives the order, code red. Maybe think of a few good men to kill everybody. And Jeremy Renner's not down with that, but others are. Jeremy Renner even has to deal with another sniper who's killing innocent people. They firebomb the place. Pretty much they have to escape. You have the scene with the chopper. And it's just one after the other after the other. I'm like, man, if the kids had not gone out stupidly, they wouldn't have found the mom. And if Robert Carlyle had not gone in and kissed her, if the fucking security was worth a dog shit, if there's a point where the chopper guy comes down and Jeremy Renner is with these two kids and another, and they're like, just get on the chopper. And that pilot's like, no, I'm not letting them on. What are you, crazy? And I'm like, well, if the pilot just let them up in the first place, Jeremy Renner would be alive, and these other people maybe be alive. Everything would have been fine. But no, then the chopper pilot's an asshole. Even more so when you have this poor guy get on the chopper, and then the movie acts as if that guy's the bad guy. I'm like, the guy just wants to escape. and not die. And then the pilots look at it as if it's a net. Get off me, get off me. Let the poor guy go. And the movie acts as if we're supposed to be happy for the pilot. I'm like, fuck that pilot. Fuck him. This poor guy's holding on and the pilot fucked him up. Really, the only character I liked was Jeremy Renner at the end of the day. There's one point that you get in the car and there's this gas being thrown. The car won't start. Soldiers are coming with flamethrowers. And Jeremy Renner gets behind the car and pushes. And I'm not sure if it's in the movie, but I remember one of the trailers he gives like a wink to the boy. Like, hey, everything's going to be okay. I remember a friend of mine mentioned how, because when he's pushing and saves them, Jeremy Renner gets burned alive. Now, I know a friend of mine said that it was haunting hearing Jeremy Renner scream when he died. And yeah, it's sad. It sucks because he, to me, the only character worth a shit in the movie. And he dies. Great, he died helping. But my fuck. Now I'm left with these fucking guys. They go through this tunnel where the female soldier has his night vision, sort of her POV. The Robert Carlyle, the infected guy, kills the female soldier, beats the shit out of her. The dad, I think, bit the boy, and the daughter shoots her dad. And the boy is like the mom, where he's infected, but he doesn't change. He's a carrier. They go to this football field, and the pilot's ready to shoot them, but then doesn't. So lets them come on. But then also, I don't like the ending to this. That's another thing I don't like. People, before I do that, well, what do you like? The pacing wasn't bad. I can't say I was bored with the film. I thought I kept it at a consistent pace where something was happening. It's not that the acting is bad. Maybe I don't find the characters that likable, but the acting is capable. Imogen Poots have questionable. That's questionable. But the others, like Robert Carlyle, he's not bad acting-wise. Idris Elba, for the little bits he is, he's fine. The boy, I don't find him annoying. It's not I found him irritating or anything. There's some good scenes of chaos and destruction. There's definitely plentiful amounts of gore. Like when the pilot's leaving earlier and puts the helicopter blades down. Granted, maybe you can't do this in real life or you crash, but I like the look of it. I'm like, funny, I'll suspend my disbelief and does this helicopter thing, fucks all these infected up. I like that scene. So it's one of those I'm watching and I'm like, okay, there's some nice shots earlier when the two kids are outside. You still get the idea of empty towns and wreckage and how this place, there's not a soul in there. And I like Jeremy Renner's character. So I watch it. It's not. I've seen much worse movies. That's another thing. But here you get to the ending, and he puts these two on his helicopter, and he leaves. And then the next shot is the helicopter. I guess has crashed. We don't know what happened to the pilot, if he's alive or dead. We don't know what happened to the kids, whether they're alive or dead. We just know that now the infected are in Paris. And I'm thinking, so more than likely that was caused by the kid, the boy. Because they're the only one we see have crossed over. They're the only ones we see. The way the movie presents it, there's no other way the infected got over except when the pilot put these two up. So then I'm like, well, fuck. I guess the pilot was right in the first place. So at the end, when he's ready to shoot these two and doesn't, I guess really he should have shot those two. Because by not shooting them, by doing the moral right thing, you've doomed all of mankind. So really, I guess Jeremy Renner was wrong by protecting these kids. I guess these people were wrong by protecting these kids, because if you shot them, then they wouldn't be in Paris and everything would be fine. So maybe the military was right. That's almost like the moral thing you get at the end of it. Well, the pilot was wrong. He should have just shot them, flew away with a helicopter, fucking play a fucking song of Fortunate Son or whatever, and then just end the movie. Hey, everything's fine. So, because he did the morally right thing, the world is fucked. I'm like, well, what kind of message does that send? So, and there's not going to be a sequel anytime soon to this, so now I don't. Sometimes you can do that and do it well. John Carpenter does that well, where you think it's a question mark. The only movie I can think of that I'm like, is The Big Trouble in Little China, where I love that film to death. I will review that sometime. But that little hook at the end, I'm like, well, what? I know there's comic books that I can read that show what happens next, but like, you could just had Jack Burton say that and just go off. It's funny. The other day I mentioned something about that movie, and someone mentioned how that was such a big cock tease because we never got a sequel. And that's what it seems like, you know. But when I watched The Thing, I thought that was just the right ending for that movie. So you can do it, but you have to do it in a particular manner. Otherwise, it's just a little flaw. The Blob, 1988. I love that film to death. It's at the very, very end where it seems like it leaves room for a sequel, but none gets made. So I'm like, just chop the shit off. I hate that, because when I watch a movie, I want to see the beginning, a middle, and I want to see an end. I want to see an ending, not dot dot dot. Oh, by the way, that other shit after the dots will never happen. I'm like, well, you're just leaving me with blue balls. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. Just end your fucking story. Then if you want another story, but then people say, well, if you do that, then everything's a typical cliche ending, and yeah, whatever. It's all about your personal interest, what you like and don't like. Usually I don't like that in a movie. So like if I compare with this and the first one, I like the more simplicity of it. I like the cast and the characters better. I like the ending to 28 Days Later better. I probably say I like the soundtrack better. The only music I remember is In a Heartbeat, which is in the first movie. The rest of the music I can't remember too much, one way or another. So I like the soundtrack in the first one better. I like something more visceral to me about the first one. I can't explain it. I mean, the director here, Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, he didn't go on to do much. I think he did a film I haven't seen, but it's called Intruders with Clive Owen. Not too much after this. I know this got a lot of praise when it came out. A lot of praise from critics. Has a high rating on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. So maybe it's a tad overrated. I definitely, again, prefer the first one over this. Just the first one I thought had a better ending, better characters, better music. I like the lead, Cillian Murphy, more than the two kids. And with 28 Days Later, I found certain moments that were just, wow, that's pretty cool. Just, it's sort of soft, quiet, nice moments. Like when they're looking at the horses, or when they're alone on the road. I didn't even mention this review, but there's a shot in 28 Days Later where they're alone on the road, and they're going off, and in the distance they see like a city on fire. And I think that's part of the scene where you have that music and ending Ascent by Brian Eno. While here, it's not trying to be the same film. So I give it that. It, the pacing's not bad. There's definitely a lot of violence, chaos in there. Jeremy Renner I like. Again, I can't say it was a boring movie, but it just wasn't as satisfying as the first one. I wouldn't call this a bad movie. I do think it's a step down, so I disagree with Maxim. I definitely disagree with that. Bit more of a downbeat ending. Jeremy Renner, I wish he was used more. I wish he was the lead. Like, maybe if you took this film, you had Jeremy Renner as the lead, and it's from his point of view as the military going to London, putting these people in, and trying to survive this chaos, and just end the movie. Worry about later. Because you can always come up with some bullshit thing for later. You always can. I think maybe I will like the film more. That's just me. But either way, still not a bad movie, just if not something I would watch again anytime soon. So, thanks for watching, take care, and stay tuned for more reviews later.